This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joyton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Phil Hartmeyer, and he is from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Good morning, Phil. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. And I know you folks are so busy. The ice is off the lakes, and I'm sure you're out and about doing things. And today we want to start out talking about Michigan Cares for Tourism. It's a wonderful program. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. On May 18th to 19th, we are pleased to announce that a site within the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, the Sturgeon Point Lighthouse, has been selected as one of two areas that are going to be the site locations for a massive volunteer undertaking for a group of statewide tourism industry professionals, where they come up for a couple days. They get what's called a familiarization tour. So they get to tour the lighthouses in Presqu'île. They get to visit the sanctuary, engage with with shop owners downtown, basically bringing tourism professionals from all over the state. It's not just regional, it's not just local, it's Upper Peninsula, Lower, everywhere. They're descending on Alpena, over 500 of them, in fact.
Wow, all the events that you folks do there bring so many people to town, and I know I probably say this every time, but if you've never been in there, go open the guest book and read what countries, what nations, what states, what nationalities people are that are coming to Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, to take a ride to see the shipwrecks, to, view the rooftop, to do some of the programs, to do the Science on a Sphere, whatever it happens to be that you folks are doing there. It's amazing, and the people come and they stay 1 or 2 days and they come back.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the idea. So after the familiarization tour, they get to engage in a day-long service project. So they're going to be helping us sort of upgrade the grounds of the Sturgeon Point Lighthouse, working together with professionals from all over the state. But the best part about it really is on the lines of what you just mentioned, going back to their communities and sharing with their clients,
empowering.
Alpena,
yes.
And what is Thunder Bay, what does it mean to them, their experiences, and bringing people back for the summertime.
So we need some wonderful volunteers from our own area to participate in this.
Yeah, if you're a tourism industry professional, give us a shout. You can also find more information on their website, Michigan Cares for Tourism. If you go ahead and just Google it, you'll find more info. But yeah, the last project they did, over 500 tourism industry professionals working together, networking, sharing an experience. In this case, happens to be right in our backyard, right in the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said if we had enough time, we could talk about the buoy and mooring program. So tell me about that.
Yeah, that's sort of ground zero for part of our research team right now. Is the ice is clearing out.
Yes.
So we've got over 30 shipwrecks that we got to put mooring buoys on, which are surface markers that help illuminate these shipwrecks, draw attention to them for fishermen, glass bottom boat viewers, captains, boat captains, and divers alike. It's a great way to protect these resources. Lots of people wonder, why we throw these things out in the lake. They actually have a tagline that's floating on the surface to be able to moor up to, so we don't have to throw anchors over these really precious resources. So it's a great program, and it's kicking off.
All right, and then so with the expansion, you've got a lot more buoys and mooring markers to put out.
Absolutely. With expansion comes more shipwrecks, which is a great thing. So we're looking at new systems to install north and south of us, as well as bringing our research vessel into places like Black River and Rogers City, and engaging these communities and their resources as as part of the new boundaries. So.
Okay, what other exciting things are happening over there?
Well, the glass bottom boat should be launching anytime now. We've got the first month or so is all dedicated towards classroom cruises. This is an initiative that Alpena Shipwreck Tours at the Sanctuary and local education partners have really pushed to dedicate this first part of the season solely to students. It's a great way to get kids out on the lake doing environmental education, watershed education, and also cultural research on some of our shipwrecks, deploying ROVs, stuff like that. So a great way to get kids out on the lake.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some kids have never been on the lake before, and I was listening to a couple of relatives' children talking about it. They remembered names of shipwrecks. They remembered, different water temperatures and depths, and it was amazing. And they'd only done it one time, what they remembered, and how exciting. That's right in our backyard, and we all have the opportunity to see it.
Absolutely. Growing up as a kid, I don't remember an experience like this,
Yes.
and being able to, to help coach these kids is an incredible and rewarding experience as well. So.
Okay, and I know that I always encourage people to look at your website because it has so much information on it. It says what's happening. You can actually look at some video, underwater video, and the ROVs and all the fun stuff that happens over there.
Yeah, and also check out our Facebook page. Great way to keep up to date. That's updated daily. So Facebook is a great outlet. Also, our YouTube channel has plenty of footage of all of our shipwrecks that are right here in our backyard.
And I always like to encourage, like you said, the school groups and other fraternal organizations and groups. Get your group together if you're looking for something fun to do. Go out on the glass bottom boat. You can find it on either Facebook or the website when those tours will actually start and when they run.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Anything else we want to mention today?
Go and enjoy the shipwrecks. Enjoy the summer.
And please stop by. Go to the shipwreck store. Check the displays. Check everything that's going on there because it's just amazing and it changes. If you've been there 6 months ago, it's different today.
It is totally different. Sure.
Thank you so much for being here, Phil, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Katie Conklin from Shelter Inc. right here in Alpena following these messages. Hi, welcome back. As promised, my last guest is Katie Conklin, the Executive Director of Shelter Inc. Good morning, Katie, and welcome.
Good morning, Nancy.
Now, I know in June you will have been at Shelter for about a year.
Yes, June 9th.
And I know you're doing great things there, great guns. I know your programs are all up and running and things are going well. And so how are you feeling about meeting your goals and getting the things done that you wanted to accomplish?
Well, when I first got here, I thought, whoa, this is a tall order. I felt like I was taking a drink from a fire hydrant.
I bet.
But it is exciting, and we are active in the community, and our programs are growing, and this month especially, we're extremely busy. This is the National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April is, and the color is teal, so you will see teal ribbons around downtown.
I did see those.
Yes, our staff has put up, and we have several events planned. One was the Community Forum, which was the 16th of April. We are excited to be partnering with Alpena Community College this year. The focus is safer campuses, and the reason for that is the law changed in 2014. Safe Campuses Act was passed, and it's an amendment of an already existing law called the Clery Act. So campuses across the United States generally have not appropriately and adequately responded to sexual assaults on campus, and it's a national problem. So the law change went into effect in October of 2014. So fortunately, Alpena Community College is very proactive and partnered with us.
Great.
And so all these events that are taking place on campus at the Granum Theater was the Community Forum. We had a panel that included Ed Black, the prosecuting attorney, Billy Gohl from the Alpena Police Department, Detective Billy Gohl, Karen, I'm going to forget her last name.
That's okay.
She is the attorney for Alpena Community College and the Title IX attorney. And Karen Bennett, excuse me.
Yes, I knew.
And so that, and Rachel Burzak, who is our sexual assault advocate. So that went really well. And it was a forum to, again, elevate awareness and let the community know that our services exist for sexual assault survivors too. We are a dual program, so we service domestic and sexual violence. And so the other upcoming event is the 21st of this month, April, at the Granum Theater at Alpena Community College. We're screening The Hunting Ground. It's a documentary film that was nominated for some Sundance Awards.
Wow.
And so we're screening that at 2 o'clock at the Granum Theater. And it's all free. The screening is free. We're going to have refreshments, and afterwards we're going to have some open facilitated discussion. And some of our advocates will be there for any survivors that might be in the audience that might need to talk to a counselor.
And I know I know that sexual assault can take on many different phases. Domestic violence can take on many different things. A lot of times people don't even realize that they're a victim. How do we do the education, Katie? How do we let people know, yes, this is not right, this is wrong, this is not good, this is bad? How do we get that out to the general public, letting them know when they need to report something or when they need to get assistance?
Well, we do a lot of community outreach and presentations, and our advocates, myself, staff, we also have a website, we have a Facebook page, social media. We're very active in the community, and we do a lot of community outreach. Many people don't know the vast services that we provide.
I agree.
The name itself doesn't necessarily lend itself to, doesn't really ring the description of what we do. I mean, Shelter Inc. has been in existence since 1978, and it started off very grassroots, and it's grown. The violence, anti-violence movement has grown. It is a movement, and it keeps moving and changing. So our services include, we do have a shelter, we do have a safe shelter that can house up to 20 people. And we also have 2 full-time professional level, master's level counselors. We have a legal advocate, we have a sexual assault advocate, and we have, all our advocates are highly trained in dealing with individuals, individual in crisis, and we have a housing program. We have we have a housing coordinator and 3 housing advocates. So we have transitional supportive housing for victims of domestic violence, and that also have children, and they can stay in their own apartment for up to 2 years and get supportive services through our program. We have a permanent supportive housing program. That is exactly what it means, permanent. And the requirement there is that the survivor is either a survivor of domestic or sexual violence, and they also have a disability.
Okay.
And then we do a lot of coordinated community response and systems change. We have a CCRs, what they're called, Coordinated Community Response Team in Presque County. And we have a SART team, Sexual Assault Response Team, in Iosco County. And just so you know, we cover 5 counties.
Yes.
We cover 3,005 square miles.
Amazing.
And most of it is rural. Most of the areas that we cover are rural. And so there are a lot of additional barriers that survivors that live in rural communities face that create the need for us to adjust the way that we respond to domestic and sexual violence. And so our advocates are increasingly becoming more mobile. They will meet survivors in different places that are safe and confidential. We also operate 2 stores, and we have a store in Rogers City, which is called Seconds on Third.
Been there many times.
Oh yes, love that place.
Me too.
And we actually have a counseling office in that building, and so our counselors will meet with clients in Rogers City. And we also have an office, an outreach center, and drop-in center in Oscoda, and a retail store, a thrift store in Oscoda called Second Chances.
Okay, we're almost out of time, so I want to make sure that we let people know that if you know someone who's been a victim of sexual assault or domestic violence, what number is the best number to call, Katie?
We have a 24-hour crisis and support line. They can call 800-396-9129.
And just a call for volunteers. You need volunteers for fundraisings, for gardening, for planning, for transporting.
We need volunteers for child care.
Yes.
We need volunteers to come in and work at the Safe House. We need volunteers to work at our Oscoda office. We have volunteers that work in the thrift stores.
Yes.
And another thing that I did with ACC is I partnered with them, and they're working with us and sending us students that are working on like social work or criminal justice degrees and doing internships and externships. So we always need volunteers.
Okay, and same thing, they can contact that number?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks for having me, Nancy.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. We have as our guest today Tom Ludwig, Director of Facilities at Alpena Community College. Tom has done a wonderful job in his 13 years at ACC. He's retiring at the end of April, and we just wanted to hear a few thoughts from him. And welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know Tom, and I know many of you do, give us a synopsis of your career prior to ACC.
Well, after graduating from Northern Michigan University, I taught school down at Flint Beecher for a year. After that, I went back up to Alpena, worked for my uncle selling modular homes for a couple of years, then went to work at Besser's in tool engineering for 2 years, and then from there I went over to Abitibi as mechanical superintendent there, and ended up working there for 27 years. Well, 1 month shy of 27 years. Then from there over to ACC, and till now. So
this has been like a second career for you almost.
It pretty much was, yeah, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Describe for the viewers if the highlights of your stay and some of the things that you've done. I've seen them, but I'd like them to hear about them from you.
Well, while I was at ACC, I was involved in a lot of different projects, and that was the fun part. I enjoy projects. I enjoy building. I enjoy designing, and that was a fun part of the job. We went from East Campus, which was the old Catholic Central, to a fine arts building. We remodeled the science labs. We put in a commons area and computer labs. We changed the way we water the grass and put an irrigation system throughout the entire campus. We've just finished up with the EPTC building, which is a very unique and wonderful building, and probably was one of the highlights of my career at ACC. I really enjoyed that project. It was fun. It's a neat building. We have indoor climbing facilities for the students. We've got a computer lab in there, three classrooms. We've got a high voltage lab and a low voltage lab. We're also in the process of putting up a wind generator, or a wind turbine, I should say, and solar panels. And this will all be hooked up to the system to supply energy to that building. And it'll be monitored on some screens at the entrance of that building, so we can watch what the wind and what the sun is producing for us on a continuous basis. It's a unique building. Everything in the building is geared towards saving energy. There's aux sensors on every room, including the bathrooms. There's insulation in that building, that probably the best insulated building that we have on campus is the way it's built. We put in a unique flooring in that system that's very, very
Yes.
durable and should last forever. If there's a disaster on campus, that would be the place to hide. It's built like a fort, and it's a very unique building. The heating system in that is done with some high efficiency boilers that are very very efficient, and actually is governed by our aux sensors that govern the lights in all of the rooms. In other words, if you walk into a room that's scheduled off for heat or in occupied mode, when the lights go on, the heat goes on also.
Yeah, that's great that a building that's focused on teaching people electrical trades has that level of sophistication in terms of what you've just described.
So it's kind of neat.
We had a gentleman up this week from the state of Michigan, because the state funded half of that, and he did a walkthrough on the building, and he was very impressed.
Good.
And took some photos and wanted to share those with some of the legislators down in Lansing, that to let them know that, their money has been well invested.
Good.
Yeah. So I don't think people realize the amount of detail work that that you, in that project in particular, dealing with vendors, dealing with the contractor, all that sort of thing. Could you reflect on that? Because for those of us at the college, we see that as one of your greatest strengths.
Well, that was the fun part. That I was able to interact with the architects, the project manager, and even all the contractors. We made changes as the thing was being built, as we saw that, well, you know, it would be better if this way or that way.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to make that change. It was very desirable to work with DeVere. They did an excellent job. And Chris Crittenden, who was our project manager, he ran everything by me. And he made me part of every decision that we had to go through that whole project. From the color of the block to how the ceiling was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and the texture of the floor. So, I mean, it was all that sort of thing, and that's what really made that a fun project.
Yeah, it was a really good work team. From the periphery watching it, it was very smooth, very professional, done well, done under budget, as I understand.
On time and under budget, yes. Yeah. We have the one step yet to go, and that's the landscaping. And that's going to be done within the next month or so.
And the landscaping piece is another area where you've had a lot of impact and pulled together a lot of people who care about the college, a number of them volunteers. Could you reflect on that, what appeals to you about that, and how that's part of your vision for the place?
Well, one of the things I read way back when I first started working there is an article about what invites people to go to a particular facility. And one of the top 3 reasons was how the appearance of the facility is. And so, that being important, we concentrated on the looks of the buildings and the grounds and all that sort of stuff. So that was appetizing to the people that were considering coming there. And so because of that, we developed, we expanded our flower planting to the point where it's about all we can handle. But if you go by the college in the summertime, it's beautiful. I've got so many remarks from people that actually go out of their way to take a look at what we have planted. And that was one thing that we did. We do it all on campus now. All the flowers that you see there are grown right on campus. Now we have 2 greenhouses that we never had before. And so that supports all that. And we actually work with the farmers market, and they grow vegetables out there. We put in wells. We did all kinds of things to make the campus look nice. And the impact of the irrigation system, where it used to be all brown in August, is nice and green, and it looks like a golf course. So it really has changed the appearance of the college. That is wonderful. I agree with that. And thank you for your energy, your expertise, and your regard for ACC. We're going to miss you. Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for the job. I enjoyed it. Very good. And folks, thank you for watching today. We hope to see you next week, and in all things, support ACC, and we love engaging with this community.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joyton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at www.wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.